Do you find this offensive? Or how about this? Then why would this offend you? And not this? Hi, I'm here today to tell you why you should support a mother's right to breastfeed in public. I have 3 main points that I would like to bring to your attention. My first point is that breastfeeding mothers are protected by Washington state law, which allows them to breastfeed in public. My second point is that federal law requires employers to provide breastfeeding mothers adequate time to express milk for their baby. And my third point is that breastfeeding has been linked to public health and IQ rates in children. Now let's take a look at each one of these points in greater detail. First point I'd like to talk to you about is that breastfeeding mothers are protected by Washington state law, which allows them to breastfeed in public. It is awkward enough to have to breastfeed in public without the onlookers and the naysayers. And according to a pamphlet published by the Washington Human Rights Commission, an owner, manager, or employee of a place of public accommodation cannot request that a mother stop breastfeeding, cover her child, go to a different room or area, or leave. Some people think that breastfeeding mothers should have to go to the bathroom while in public. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want to eat in the bathroom. Why should a baby have to go to the bathroom to eat? And the second point I would like to talk to you about today is that federal law requires employers to provide breastfeeding mothers adequate break times to express milk for their baby. I think this law is amazing, and when an employer follows it, they are fully supporting the mother's right to breastfeed. When I went back to work after I had my son Marcus, I worked for a small business and I worked alone. So I found out, according to a website called Breastfeeding Law, that an employer who employs less than 50 employees is not subject to the requirements of that subsection of the law. I think that needs to change a little bit, and I think if more people supported breastfeeding mothers, we might be able to get that changed so that all the single moms out there don't have to decide between feeding their baby and working. And the third point that I would like to talk to you about today is that breastfeeding has been linked to public health and IQ rates in children. Breastfeeding is one of the best choices that you can make for your child. When you breastfeed, you are passing all of your immunities on to your child through your milk. And according to an article written by Jay Wolf, published in the American Journal of Public Health, in the early 20th century, as a part of a national campaign to lower infant mortality, public health officials around the country hung posters in urban neighborhoods urging mothers to breastfeed. And I think that again is an amazing fact. Every pediatrician I've ever talked to said that breastfeeding for the first 2 weeks of a child's life is very important. when a mother first starts to breastfeed, her milk is called colostrum. And the difference between colostrum and regular breast milk is that it's a little bit thicker, it's a little bit denser, and it holds all of the immunities from the mother. So that's why they urge mothers to breastfeed to avoid public health issues, things of that sort. And so today I have given you the hard facts in an effort to persuade you to support a mother's right to breastfeed in public. My 3 main points were: 1, breastfeeding mothers are protected by Washington state law, which allows them to breastfeed in public. 2, federal law requires that employers give breastfeeding mothers adequate break time to express milk. And 3, breastfeeding has been linked to public health and IQ rates in children. I hope that I've given you enough information to feel that breastfeeding in public is no big thing. A breastfeeding mother is one of the most natural things that you can see on the planet. And it's sad to think that women's bodies have been exploited for years, and yet some people still think that breastfeeding is indecent. And the next time you see a breastfeeding mother, don't stare and don't avoid her like she's the plague. Just remember that she is only doing what she feels is best for her baby, and her baby is just trying to eat. So keep calm. They're just buoys. Thank you for your time.